about the CEIC to direct public funds outside of the Enhanced Service District to control board appointments or restrict vital basic needs to our houseless community members. The Central Committee of the Multnomah County Democrats met on January 10th, 2019, and after hearing presentations from both CEIC and CCD members, voted unanimously to support the CCD's plan. We recommend that all parts of the CCD be written into the ESD, and we call for the inclusion of CCD members as stakeholders to ensure an equitable, transparent, and accountable process for program implementation. Additionally, we call on the city to ensure that through the ESD's implementation, it is taking measures to our most vulnerable residents and safeguard the well-being of unhoused and housed residents, workers, and businesses in the district alike. We would like to thank Commissioner Hardesty for her willingness to mediate a deal on the ESD, and Commissioner Udele and Fritz for your time on this issue as well. Our city is experiencing a housing emergency, and it is imperative that we act with urgency, compassion, and justice. It is our hope that you will all continue to draw on the experiences of Right to Survive, Sisters of the Road, FAWS, along with other advocacy groups in the CCD coalition to help write and direct policy. The CCD is only a modest stopgap towards a vision of Portland that respects housing as a human right. We agree with the CCD's proposals assessments that access to waste management, toilets, showers, laundry, peer trauma-informed community spaces, stable sleep areas, car camping programs, along with access to green spaces will lead to better outcomes for not just our houseless community members, but all stakeholders in the proposed ESD in our city.
Commissioner Daly.
I just want to quickly ask what you meant by directing public funds outside of the...
Yes, so as I understood and read the proposal, the CEIC was asking the city to match funds to parts of the ESD. Is that correct? Is that still part of the proposal?
I don't think so.
Commissioner Hardesty.
Thank you. There is a request that the city work with the CEIC to help identify laundry service, mobile laundry, and mobile restrooms, but that is not what's being voted on today. That's going to be work that has to take place outside of this body.
Okay, I just saw it in the proposal, so I thought I'd address it.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Hello. My name is Catherine Latimer-Rainiel, and I work as a registered nurse in a local ER that receives patients from the Central East Side. I support the Compassionate Change District plan. I'm unintentionally becoming an expert in the human and emergency service cost of houseless camp sweeps by police currently taking place, otherwise known as cleaning. Every time there's a sweep in our ER, quickly fills up. People swallow lethal amounts of drugs. They sometimes jump off high walls or even bridges to get away and end up coming to us as a trauma patient. Many folks try to find another space just to exist or to camp again and end up running into other people competing for the same space, which can have violent outcomes and create more patients. They will again come to us. Many lose everything they own to keep themselves warm and cannot find or will not find space in a shelter. My patients tell me shelters are dangerous both physically, mostly to women, and they often get their much needed medications stolen. When our ER beds are fully occupied, so some patients having a heart attack or stroke end up getting medical workups in the lobby. This ends up placing us on ambulance divert, which can also be dangerous for everyone, as we are one of the only level 2 hospitals in the city. Last week, one young officer left a patient that had a serious threat of possible intubation handcuffed to a bed for 15 minutes without a key to unlock the cuffs as they went outside the department to see if this warrant was really worth it. The houseless have good reasons not to trust the police, security, or anyone in uniform. We all know trust has to be earned, and even the most seasoned social workers can work extremely hard for a very long time to earn trust and connect people to services. Then, if people are actually connected to services, they are most often full and unavailable. When people can't meet Maslow's basic needs, how do we expect them to pay fines or thousands of dollars for an ER bill? These medical costs, along with the hours spent in police salary, will get passed on to the taxpayer in one form or another. It will show up in higher hospital bills for everyone, or more police hours to address the aftermath, the trauma that it causes the houseless community. I'm almost done. Members
You're
will
done.
show up
Thank you.
and
Next three, please.
I just want to give one.
Commissioner Fritz.
The safety ambassadors will have no authority to move people along.
Next three, please. Next three, please. Thank you for your testimony. Next three.
Emily Gilbert, Claude Gilbert, and Louis Duncan Mike O'Mahony, and they'll be followed by Sarah Rudolph, Patricia Colbert, and Edith Gillis.
Good afternoon.
My name is Emily Gilbert. I am a resident of the Central East Side. I'm heartened to see the CIC recognizing Right to Survive and Voss's work in providing material support within our district that changes and saves lives. I support the CIC's decision to open up the Governing Board and Oversight Committee to include them in decision-making, and I'm especially thankful to Commissioner Hardesty for emphasizing the necessity of meaningful participation through representation. I also appreciate the CIC's efforts to collaborate on, rather than obstruct, the founding of a safe sleep area in the district. Thanks should go to Commissioner Fritz for her long-standing work on this issue, and to Commissioner Udaley for her continuing commitment to help find a location. I hope that one day in the near future, the Central East Side will include a space where our neighbors who have been displaced by the housing crisis can sleep undisturbed without fear. Where our visions still diverge is on the issue of private security, even if trauma-informed. The CIC wants to spend a large part of their budget fighting crime and grime. And I have seen no increase in crime statistics that would warrant this targeted funding in the district where I've lived for 12 years. I've attended every public CIC Security Committee hearing. What is evident through the original CIC RFP issued for hiring private security is that crime is never mentioned. The RFP said that, quote, the number of camps, campers, and at times people with disruptive behavior that are creating a growing sense of insecurity to business employees, residents, and users of the district in general is the problem to be addressed. This harmfully conflates crime with houselessness, which is not a criminal activity but an economic circumstance. I appreciate Commissioner Udaley's addition of a situational protocol and reporting requirements so that we can better track the impacts of the private security on the houseless. But I have to wonder, what could hundreds of thousands of dollars do to help if the CIC viewed the issue through the equity lens instead? I sincerely hope that the voices of Voss and Right to Survive on the CI board will enable the CIC to do that.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. My name is Claude Gilbert. I'm a board member of the Hosford-Abernathy Neighborhood Association, which includes a large part of the Central East Side Industrial District. While Hand Board has not taken a position either in favor nor in opposition to the proposed ESD, we have voted to support the following components from the Compassionate Change District proposal. 1, a cleanup initiative that includes programs such as bathroom and hygiene training, care attendant porta potties with strategic spots, a community center with bathroom, laundry, shower, and locker storage space. 2, a jobs development program that includes a peer-run waste collection program which operates without causing one point of contact complaints, a peer-run attendant training program for peer-run bathroom and encampment aids and attendants. 3, a security program that includes a peer-run stable sleep area, a peer-run safe car camping program, a modified security contract focused on trauma-informed community health aid and conflict resolution. While aware of the reality that motivates the implementation of the CEIC's proposed ESD, we would like to see the issues of safety and trash accumulation addressed in a most humane manner and feel that the CCD helps to meet the needs of all parties. In addition, I serve as the hand liaison to the CEIC Security Committee. I would strongly support a service such as Cahoots to replace the current private security. I grew up in Eugene, have a long experience with the Cahoots model, and believe it would be a much better fit for the needs of the Central East Side District than the downtown clean and safe model. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and I just want you to be aware that there are many people at the city who are taking a hard look at the Cahoots model. I went down there with my team. The police chief has been there, Commissioner Hardesty has been there, the fire chief has been there, and I am very interested in bringing together the service environment in the same way that they brought it under one roof down in Eugene. It's not an easy process because we have many pieces of the Cahoots model here, but it's fragmented. It's not all under one system. And so our challenge in the next several months, and I know we're going to have many conversations here that my team would like to lead about how we actually consolidate these services in a manner similar to what's going on in Eugene. From my perspective, my narrow perspective on this is, I've said many times over the last couple of years, we need to reduce interactions between people in crisis and the police and increase interactions with people in crisis, with mental health professionals, EMTs, and others who can actually support them and work with them. That would in turn free up the public safety system to be addressing other issues as opposed to trying to provide services that are either mental health based or addiction based or other trauma types of issues that we're seeing on our streets. So
I agree
I'm
wholeheartedly.
glad you support that model. I was very impressed with it, and I think there's a lot we can do with it here.
Thank you for your attention to that.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners. My name is Mike O'Mahony. I'm a deacon at St. Mary Magdalene Church, and I've been working on the street for about 2 years. We provide food and other services to people living outside. Mayor, you just mentioned that model I very much support that model. The problem with what we're doing right now is we're spending a lot of money on security in the current plan, and then hoping we get back to that or something more like that. If the ESD was more along those lines, that's what we're going to create, I would very much support that. And that's what the Compassionate Change District is lobbying for, in a sense. Very clear what they're asking, and we've taken a half a step or maybe a quarter of a step in the right direction, but for some reason we feel rushed to move forward with something that's spending most of the funds on security, which is, just as you said, Mayor, it doesn't work. That's not, sending security teams out is not what addresses the problems, the challenges that we're facing. My recommendation would be to slow down, to work with the group that is part of the East Side Council and develop a model further along, closer to the Compassionate Change model that takes into account the things that you just mentioned, Mayor Wheeler, and bring that forward. Instead of spending money on security, which will cause the problems that the mayor mentioned, causes the problems of heightened tension, heightened violence, heightened instability. Instead of spending money on that, let's put the resources into a really new model, which is going to take a little bit longer, but it's just months longer of talking and designing and going forward with that. I can't support the proposal as it stands right now, and I ask you to give it more time as we keep working together.
Okay, fair enough, and I just want to be very clear about what my position is, because I think you may have slightly missed that.
I heard you're in favor of the ESD.
Yeah, I don't think it's an either or, I think it's a both and.
I'm just afraid we're going to get the security going, which is not the right answer, and that's where all the money is going to be spent.
It's
Most of the
certainly
money.
not the whole answer, we're in agreement, sir. Next three, please.
Are Sarah Rudolph, Patricia Colbert, and Edith Gillis, and they'll be followed by Eric Myers, Peter Finley Fry, and Jenka Soderberg.
How many more people do we have, Carla?
There's 12 after. Okay, so
Okay, do our best. Edith, why don't you start us off, please?
Thank you for the improvement of this, and please continue improving it as follows so that it may become acceptable. 1, change the governing board from up to 3 that have experienced houselessness to instead a minimum of 4 with lived experiences of houselessness plus different minimum of 1 with physical disabilities plus different minimum of 2 with lower income housing insecurity plus minimum of different 1 with trauma from police brutality plus a minimum of 3 indigenous COP and a minimum of 1 from the Compassionate Change District group. That would be a 12 out of 15 to 20 on the governing board. 2, change the percentages of the budget to prioritize compassion and addressing the causes of the issues that police often cause, the litter and the debris. More free toilets, showers, laundry, and lockers with bike and trailer and tent repair gardens for food, have tiny self-governed eco-villages for the otherwise houseless, and community gardens for those people with $0 to $10,000 a year income provided by the high rent properties. Have mandatory on the high rent properties or the high mortgage properties, roof, wall, and or ground space gardens for growing food, energy, and water resolution. Pay houseless neighbors who are willing and able to provide training and skills and wisdom, preparing us for when the majority of Portlanders will be houseless between earthquakes and fires.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Patricia Colbert. Thank you very much for letting me